Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back with another interesting topic in Vedic astrology today. And today we will be continuing with our last couple of videos on inauspicious births. So, in the last to last video, we discussed about a combination which explained us about one particular type of inauspicious birth where the planet moon was involved, and the video is titled as "Is Your Newborn Safe?" Okay, and then I kind of ended that video by saying that there are hundreds of other combinations which could be inauspicious, and I've just discussed one of these just as a reference to you, but you should look into other combinations as well which could be inauspicious for the newborn. And then in the last video I discussed about Gandanta and I told you that there are three types of Gandantas which are also very inauspicious births and which affect the native for the birth chart whom you're studying or analyzing, as well as their parents. So Gandanta can cause problems for the newborn for the rest of his life, along with problems for the parents as well. Okay, so remedial measures have to be performed. That's very important. And then remedial measures have to be performed as soon as possible. Of course, it can be done in certain cases in the later part of his life as well, but mostly it is done in the initial part of the life of the child or the newborn, okay, so that this evil combination can be taken care of. That's why Gandantas are considered to be extremely important. Whenever you look at a birth chart of a newborn, the first thing they look at is Gandanta, and Gandantas are nothing but intersections, inauspicious intersections, and they are once again categorized into three types of Gandantas. One is a Tithi Gandanta, second is the Nakshatra Gandanta, and the third is the Lagna Gandanta. Okay, so in the last video we did discuss about Tithi Gandantas. I explained you in detail about what a Tithi is and the intersection, which is the end of the fifth Tithi and the beginning of the sixth Tithi, the end of the 10th Tithi and the beginning of the 11th Tithi, and the end of the 15th Tithi and the beginning of the first Tithis are the inauspicious times. And we have to, and if you look at, or if you refer to my earlier video on Tithi Gandanta, you'll get a clearer idea what I'm talking about. You know, it explains that in details. So Tithi Gandanta has already been discussed in the last video. Today we'll be talking about Nakshatra Gandanta and Lagna Gandanta. So I wanted to make a separate video on Nakshatra Gandanta and a separate video on Lagna Gandanta, but I decided to make just one video. Why? Because both are kind of connected to each other, related to each other. So we're going to discuss what Nakshatra Gandanta is and what Lagna Gandanta is, which is Gandanta, once again, is a Sanskrit word for an intersection, and it's an inauspicious intersection. So remedial measures have to be performed. So today we'll be talking about Nakshatra Gandanta and Lagna Gandanta in a birth chart of a newborn. Okay, so we know that there are 12 zodiac signs, okay, and there are 27 nakshatras. We know that, okay. So one zodiac sign has 2¼ nakshatras. Okay, we know that. Why? Because one zodiac sign is 30 degrees and one nakshatra is 13 degrees and 20 minutes in length. So starting from Aries, the first nakshatra will fall in the zodiac sign 30 degrees, and then another 13 degrees and 20 minutes, and whatever is left is a quarter of a nakshatra, which is 3 degrees and 20 minutes. So 13 degrees 20 minutes of a nakshatra plus 13 degrees and 20 minutes of a nakshatra plus 1/4 of a nakshatra, which is 3 degrees and 20 minutes. That adds to 30 degrees. Okay, I hope I make myself clear here. So there are 2¼ nakshatras in one zodiac sign of 30 degrees. Let's put it this way. Okay, so we know that a nakshatra is further subdivided into 4 padas of 3 degrees and 20 minutes each. You can call it a navamsha as well, but that's how it is. So if you divide one zodiac sign into 9 equal parts, that also is 3 degrees and 20 minutes each. So 3 degrees and 20 minutes times 9 is 30 degrees. Okay, and one nakshatra again is divided into 4 equal parts of 3 degrees and 20 minutes each. All right, so that's how it is. So if you start calculating from the Aries, you will get a full number ending in one zodiac sign by the end of Ashlesha Nakshatra and the Cancer sign, zodiac sign. Okay, so there won't be any leftover quarter, or it just falls exactly at the end of, if you start calculating the nakshatras and the zodiac signs, it will fall exactly at the end of Ashlesha Nakshatra and Cancer zodiac sign. Okay, for both the nakshatra and the Rashi. So that's the first intersection, which is inauspicious. Okay, and then if you start counting, beginning the Leo zodiac sign again, then again the second frequency or intersection will fall at the end of Jyeshtha Nakshatra and Scorpio zodiac sign, when there's no quarters left. Okay, it exactly falls when the nakshatra ends and also the zodiac sign ends, and that will be the end of Jyeshtha Nakshatra and Scorpio zodiac sign. And then if you start calculating from again the zodiac sign of what comes after Scorpio, Sagittarius, again you start calculating the exact end of the zodiac sign, and the nakshatra falls in the nakshatra of Revati Nakshatra and Pisces zodiac sign. That's the end. Okay, and that's how the exact 27 nakshatras fall, and 12 zodiac signs fall at the end. So once again, you know, in these 3 intersections, there is no nakshatra which is not complete, like in a zodiac sign, like I explained at the beginning of the video or beginning of this discussion on Nakshatra and Lagna Gandantas, that, you know, since one nakshatra is 13 degrees and 20 minutes and one zodiac sign is 30 degrees, so starting from Aries, you see, you know, it does not fall completely at the end of a zodiac sign. So like for Aries, if you start from Aries, there could be 2 nakshatras and 1/4 of a nakshatra, so it's not complete. But if you start calculating, there are 3 intersection points where the nakshatra and the zodiac signs end exactly at the same point without any leftovers of a nakshatra, so as to say. Okay, and what are those intersecting points? One is the end of Ashlesha Nakshatra and the Cancer zodiac sign. When the nakshatra completely ends in Cancer zodiac sign, and of course the zodiac sign is also there, the Cancer zodiac sign. Okay, so both nakshatra and the Rashi end at one point. The second intersecting point is in the entire zodiac is when Jyeshtha Nakshatra and Scorpio zodiac sign falls and ends exactly at the same point. And the third point is the end of Revati Nakshatra and Pisces Rashi, which is the last Rashi or the zodiac sign, falls at the same point when completely the nakshatra ends at the zodiac sign. Okay, there are no leftovers or anything. So that is though, and those are the Gandanta junctions at those points. So we have to see the junctions. So the first junction would fall in the end of Ashlesha and the beginning of Magha, because Magha is the next nakshatra after Ashlesha. So that is the Gandanta, Nakshatra Gandanta, when Ashlesha ends exactly at the same zodiac sign, when the zodiac sign is also ending. But then the next nakshatra, which is beginning in Leo, will be the juncture of Ashlesha and Magha. Okay. Similarly, when Jyeshtha ends in the Scorpio zodiac sign, the next nakshatra will start in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, and that is Mula Nakshatra. So that intersection of the end of Jyeshtha and the beginning of Mula will be the inauspicious intersection. And the third point is at the end of Revati Nakshatra and Pisces Rashi, where it ends at that point, the next nakshatra which begins is the Ashwini Nakshatra. So the Revati Nakshatra ending in Pisces and the Ashwini Nakshatra, which is starting in Aries, that juncture or that junction, the end of Revati and the beginning of Ashwini is inauspicious, and that is the third Nakshatra Gandanta. Okay, so these are considered to be Nakshatra Gandantas, these points where the nakshatra is ending and the next nakshatra is starting. Okay, so what you should consider in the end of one nakshatra and the beginning of the other nakshatra in terms of Ashlesha Magha junction, Jyeshtha Mula junction, and Revati Ashwini junction is half Ghati. Okay, half of the Ghati, actually I'm sorry, it's two Ghatis at the end of the nakshatra and the beginning of the next nakshatra. So two Ghatis at the end and two Ghatis at the beginning. So when we are discussing about Nakshatra Gandanta, last two Ghatis of Ashlesha and the beginning two Ghatis of Magha is the inauspicious junction. Similarly, last two Ghatis of Jyeshtha and first two Ghatis of Mula is the inauspicious junction. And last two Ghatis of Revati and the first two Ghatis of Ashwini is the third nakshatra inauspicious junction. Now Ghatis is a Sanskrit word for calculating the distance. So the modern astrologers have resolved this problem by saying, okay, just look at 1 degree. Okay, so consider two Ghatis as 1 degree. So once again, in case the birth happens in the last 1 degree of Ashlesha and the first degree of Magha, or the birth happens in the last 1 degree of Jyeshtha and the first 1 degree of Mula, or if the birth happens in the last 1 degree of Revati and the first 1 degree of Ashwini, these junctions are Nakshatra Gandantas and they are very inauspicious. Okay, now when I say the birth happens in the last degrees, meaning which moon, the planet moon, should be placed in these junctions. Okay, because nakshatra has got to do with the planet moon, so look at the position of moon when you see the Nakshatra Gandanta. So I hope I've made myself clear what are the Nakshatra Gandantas. Okay, now in case the one of the or in case the junction falls where the, or in other words, in case the ascendant falls in these Gandantas, okay, Okay, before the ascendant, let me tell you what is a Rashi Gandanta. So we discussed about Nakshatra Gandantas. So similarly, the Rashis will also have a junction, just like Nakshatra Gandantas, because the nakshatra is falling at the end of the Rashi or the zodiac sign. So when there is a junction of Ashlesha Magha or Jeshtha Mula or Revati Ashwini, similarly there'll be a junction of the zodiac signs also. So these are called, you could translate it into a Rashi Gandanta or the zodiac sign Gandanta. So what will be the Gandanta or the intersection? When Ashlesha Magha Gandanta or intersection happens, then there has to be a Cancer Leo Gandanta or intersection. Similarly, when Jeshtha Mula Nakshatra Gandanta or intersection happens, then there has to be a intersection of the zodiac signs as well, which is Scorpio and Sagittarius. And when the Revati Ashwini Gandanta in terms of a Nakshatra Gandanta happens, then the zodiac sign Gandanta here will be the Pisces Aries. So you can look at it either ways. Nakshatra Gandanta is based on the nakshatra where the planet moon is placed, and similarly this will be a zodiac sign Gandanta, which will be Cancer Leo or Scorpio Sagittarius and Pisces or Pisces Aries. Okay, three kinds of, and they'll be categorized as zodiac sign Gandantas, or in other words Rashi Gandanta. Now when any of the let me rephrase it. When the ascendant falls in any of the Rashi Gandantas or the zodiac sign Gandantas, then the Lagna Gandanta falls. The Lagna Gandanta happens, because Lagna is ascendant. Once again, when ascendant falls in any of these three junctions, which is Cancer Leo, Scorpio Sagittarius and Pisces Aries, then there will be, along with the Rashi Gandantas, it will be a Lagna Gandantas, because the Lagna is trapped in this inauspicious zodiac sign Gandanta or the intersection. So in case the intersection is where the ascendant also falls, then it is called a Lagna or the ascendant Gandanta. And here we do not take two ghatis on either side. Here we take half a ghati from either sides in this intersection. Now if 1 degree was 2 ghatis, we just discussed a little while ago in this video, then a half a degree or half a ghati will be 1/8. Okay, 2 divided by how much is it? 2 ghatis is 1 degree. If 2 ghatis is 1 degree, then half a ghati is 1/4 of that. Okay, so 1/4 of 1 degree will be 1/4 of a degree. So you have to see, in case the ascendant falls within these intersections of these three zodiac sign intersections, which is called the Rashi Gandantas, to an extent of 1/4 of a degree, okay, then it is called a Lagna Gandanta or very inauspicious. So there's a slight difference. With Nakshatra Gandantas, we take 2 ghatis on either side, which is 1 degree, and with Lagna Gandanta, we take half ghatis on either side, which is 1/4 of a degree. Okay, so if you see, the ascendant is trapped in these three intersections of either Cancer Leo or Scorpio Sagittarius or Pisces Aries within 1/4 of a degree on either side. Okay, then there is a Lagna Gandanta, which is also very, very inauspicious. And what we have to do is we have to get go to a Vedic scholar and get remedial measures done. Now, the ancient scriptures, by the way, once again, I need to remind you that all my videos are a direct reference of the ancient scriptures. It is not a figment of imagination of any modern day astrologers. So the ancient scriptures very clearly say that in case of a newborn, if all the three Gandantas happen at the same time, okay, and what are these three Gandantas which we have been discussing? One is the Tithi Gandanta, which we discussed in our last video, and the second is the Nakshatra Gandantas, which we discussed in this video, and the third is the Lagna Gandanta, which we also discussed in this video. If all these three Gandantas happen in the case of a child or a newborn, then there's instant death of a newborn. But that's very, 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 very rare. That won't happen. It won't happen that all the three Gandantas are going to happen at the same time. But if either of these three Gandantas happen, either Lagna Gandanta or Nakshatra Gandanta or the Tithi Gandanta, which we discussed in our last video, then absolutely remedial measures have to be performed as soon as possible. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, which is once again coming directly from the ancient scriptures. And meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel, check out my website, there is a link below, and I will see you with an interesting topic in Vedic astrology in my next session very soon. Goodbye.